Hello, welcome to another stash bust attempt. It is Monday, so we're starting at the start of the week. This time, I have something in mind for what I want to start with. Now, if you watched my last stash bust video, which was like kind of my entry foray into this stash busting of all of the yarn that I still have lying around in this craft room, you will know that I counted my amigurumi patterns but not other patterns. You'll also know that I did this in a kind of like, let's say unorganized way. This vlog, I'm starting with something a little more organized, and that is I actually have a plan for what I want to start to make, and I actually want to make this thing from like start to finish. So my plan this week is every day I want to make progress on one of the whips that I've already got, even if it's only like, 20 minutes on one of those, and either make a decision about what I want to use some yarn for or work on a completely new project and like get going on that. And with that in mind, there is a new project that I want to start. It's a Christmassy project, so I feel like it goes with this December vibe. And that is, I want to make Christmas stockings for me and my husband. I am going to make them in some of the Moomoo's Milk Cotton that is in my stash already. So let me show it to you. You may have just seen it sitting up there, but the first is this eucalyptus color. We've rebranded this to Moomoo's Magic, but obviously this is stash yarn, so it's old, so it still has the Moomoo's Milk Cotton branding on it. This one comes in 200 gram balls. I have 167 grams still of this ball. So there's quite a bit to stash bust here. I'm hoping that it'll be enough. Like, it would be quite annoying if I had to open a new ball to finish this, but I'm just going to go with the flow and hope that this works out. So that is going to be one of the colors, and the other color I'm going to use is this kangaroo paw, which is more of a red color, and this one I have 156 grams still of. I think they look pretty cute together. They are just going to be like one color per stocking, so they will be individual, but sitting next to each other somewhere, they'll also be pretty nice, I think. So that's going to be the first thing I like start with as my new project for this week. Let's see how we go. I found a pattern by A Crafty Concept that I want to try. It's like a kind of bubble stocking type thing. I don't know. It's just like a kind of nice single color stocking that has a little bit of texture thanks to bubble stitches on it. And I feel like I've seen this one being made by a few different people around Instagram lately, so I just want to give it a go and hopefully it works out. Hopefully it looks good. That is going to be the start of my stash bust this week though, and the reason I say it's more structured, even though it really kind of still feels like there's not that much structure, is that I've actually weighed these, okay? And I know that I was bad at that in the last video, so I'm restarting somewhere, And yeah, there's still a lot of yarn that we need to get through, so I think we're going to be on this adventure together for a really long time. I think at some point during this video I might also look at the other patterns that I have, because I do still have like a bunch of tapestry ones I haven't done, and some homewares ones, and possibly also some clothing ones. I don't know. This is not going to be like a quick series, this is going to take a long time. We have a lot of yarn. There's a lot to get through here, so I hope you're enjoying it, and let's see how much yarn we can get through this week. I'm going to get started on these stockings and you can join me. I'm going to be using a 6mm hook with this, and I hope it works out. It's meant to be in a worsted weight. This is not a worsted weight. It's more like an Aran weight, so we are just going to see what happens. The stash is out of control, my friends. It is out of control. Thankfully, I do have a very big backlog of like YouTube videos to be watching, so I'm going to get started on them while I get started on this stocking. Okay, it is 6 p.m, so Kieran is probably going to be home from work soon, and I want to start preparing dinner so that he can finish cooking dinner after he like chills out for a bit. I did do some of this. We're up to here, and I have this much yarn left, so this is, I guess, going to be a stash bust, but I also really think it's going to add to my stash in some ways, because I don't think this is going to be enough yarn. I'm going to weigh it, like what we have left, to see how we're going, because I'm not that far through it at all. I kind of forgot that bubble stitches would mean more yarn getting used. It's now at 101 grams, and we started at 156 grams. So I've used a third of it, and I am definitely not a third of the way through this. So yeah, look, whatever. I'll still get a new make done, and we'll see if I end up with like net less than 156 grams of this color. That's still a win, right? That's the plan for the afternoon, and I will see you soon. Hello vlog, it is Tuesday. I have had the morning off because I had some appointments this morning, so I'm not working until like another 45 minutes I will start work, and I just wanted to catch you up on what I've been doing overnight and this morning. So our stocking, guys, this is not a stash bust. I am going to have to get more yarn because this is where the stocking is at, and this is how much yarn I have left, which is like basically nothing. I really didn't think about the fact that these bubble stitches were going to be taking up a bunch of yarn. So I think it actually should go that way so that you don't see the line of bubbles, and I will need to push out all the bubble stitches that are hiding. I am really enjoying the pattern though. It's pretty easy to follow. I am not sure if I'll make the second one. It's possible that because this one is so big and, you know, might not actually be busting my stash so much, I might just make one of them this week, and then I will do something else to like actually get rid of some yarn that I have, which I suppose this is getting rid of some yarn. I am using yarn that's in my stash. I'm just gonna have to add to it to actually finish this. I think overall, I hope overall, and maybe this will age poorly during this week, I will still have less of this yarn than I started with, because I only need to use a quarter of the next ball basically to like be back to where I started, and I think we're gonna do that. That is where that is at. I didn't actually work on anything else yesterday. I know I said I was going to do some work on like existing projects that I already had underway, but I've been really tired, so I didn't do that. I'll do some of it today. But I did want to update you on, in a past video, I was talking about how I wanted to make a bunch of toys for my cousin's kids. So I have started that, and some of them I've shown you, but currently I think these three are maybe the three that I had finished already. 3 little drifts. I do need to add eyes to them. I haven't embroidered them on yet, but I've made 3 of them so far. I need to make 7. So I have finished the 4th, and again, this one I actually also need to stuff. But I finished this at friends and I had a Christmas crafting like afternoon on the weekend, and that was really nice. It was nice to just like catch up, craft, hang out, eat some nice snacks, and yeah, I got 1 drift done. I was originally going to make like 2 in each color, like so 2 of the blue ones, 2 of the pink ones, and then 2 that are in the like rainbow yarn that Aldi also had, because I still have some of that left that I want to stash bust, but I don't think I have enough yarn to finish a second one of the blue. So this is what I have left of each of those colors, and as you can see, the blue, like there's really not that much of it left. I think it's less than 50 grams, and I'm just going to use my little measuring thing here. I think it's less than 50 grams, and I believe it's 48 grams, and I think they were using almost about that amount of yarn. So I don't know if I try it or not. The other thing I could potentially do is make the finger puppet out of a different yarn, because like you don't really see that tube. All you see is the tiniest bit of it, you know? So I could just make that in like a blue chenille, and then this for the rest of it. I feel like I'd be playing with fire, because this like isn't in stores anymore. So if I didn't finish it, it would be like a bit of a waste of time having tried. So I'm not sure what I will do. Maybe I'll risk it, maybe I won't. I think I'll revisit my spreadsheet first to see how much I actually used in the first like couple that I made. Actually, let's weigh this one because it's not stuffed yet. This might be the deciding factor. Whoa, it uses 47 grams. Far out. That has not helped. If that was like even 45, I would have felt a bit better about it. Maybe I'll try it. All right, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. We will 100% stash bust this blue if we make it. And if we don't make it, I'm gonna have to pull it all out and we won't have stash busted any yarn. And also, I don't know. Let's see what happens with that, I suppose. Maybe that is the next thing that I will try and do, because I really do want to get these done. And it would be good if this like fully used, oh my gosh, hang on, there's a label in it. How much does the label weigh? Down to 45 grams without this label. Oh, I don't know what to do. Okay, I'm not gonna do that this week because I think I would get too sad if we had like 2 stash bust fails. in this video. So I'm going to keep working on this. I'm going to finish this at some point this week. And I think maybe I will work on trying to finish some ones of these in the rainbow yarn, because that, I know I have enough yarn to do a couple of them. We'll definitely get it done. I feel like everyone loves, including me, having an actual finished item in these videos. Otherwise it's going to be like really, the stash bust videos are going to be a bit depressing if I just keep being like, well, I didn't actually get to stash bust any yarn because I had to open more. That would be so silly. Okay. All right. That is the update for Tuesday morning. I didn't do much this morning except keep working on this. You saw what it was like in an earlier clip before I finished last night, and then the rest of this I have done this morning. So might keep plugging away at that, and then this afternoon maybe we will try something new and fresh and exciting, but until then. Okay, I've just finished the red Hummus milk cotton that I had, and this is where I'm at. I still have like, I think 1 or 2 blocks of like in between the bobbles to go, and then I'll need to do the top bit that folds over, I guess, which is meant to be in faux fur yarn, but I think I'm just going to do it in this yarn so that I'm not adding to my stash overall. I need to use as much of the new ball as possible. So I'm going to go downstairs, get another ball of this kangaroo paw, and while I'm down there I have an order to pack, so I'm going to do that for the yarn shop. Then honestly it might be time to like get ready for bed. So Tuesday I guess has been a bit of a bust in a way. Not. I did finish this entire ball of Moo. I just unfortunately have to add some to the stash, which is not exactly the spirit of a stash busting video, but it's where we're at. So what can you do, you know? You win some, you lose some, and in this case I have lost some, I think, but let's see what happens when I finish this and if overall I'm still like good, you know? I've probably said that a million times already because I feel like from almost the start of this, I realized that it was going to be an issue. I did have this morning off work, as I mentioned, but I ended up then having to like stay late. I mean, I was just home, but I ended up having to be online late for like, I don't know, an extra 2 hours. So again, basically a net zero on my day. I didn't really actually get any time off in terms of work hours. We'll try again another day maybe, but definitely not as much crochet time as I expected I would get today, which is unfortunate, but I don't know. Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. Good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday. I am home today. I would normally be in the office, but I started work at 5:45 this morning. I thankfully didn't have to be online very long. I just had to do a few things and then I will sign back on pretty soon actually. It is 8 o'clock now, or 10 past 8 now, so I'll get back online around 8:30. I spent, instead of going back to bed, which is what I would normally do when I have to get up early doing some things at work, I usually will just go back to bed. But it's summer now, which meant the sun is up, so I just stayed awake and I finished off my stocking. So this is done now. I haven't gone through and like poked out all of the bobble stitches, so if it looks a bit weird, that is why. It is pretty, like it's pretty big. The pattern does have like a tie with some bobbles on the end. I might do those, but I do only have like 1 skein of this and I have been using it for my Santa craft along, so I really want to finish that first because I'd rather this went without baubles than I didn't have enough of this for the Santa. I really don't want to have to buy more yarn. I already have had to add yarn to my stash in this stash bust video, so I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit like a failure, guys, but I'm gonna keep on trucking. I am happy to say that I did overall reduce my yarn, but not by a whole lot. So we started with 156 grams of the kangaroo paw Moo yarn, and I now have 112 grams. So we got rid of, what, 44 grams. Nice. Not quite the stash bust I was after. What I'm thinking is, I think I've already said this, I'm not going to make another stocking because I don't want to have to add more green yarn to my stash. Like all of that work to only get rid of 44 grams of yarn is not the vibe. So I'm thinking that what I might do with some of these milk cotton like stash that I've got is make some beanies and send them off to Knit One Give One. I know that it is crochet, but I did message them on Instagram just to confirm. I have seen that they take crochet goods as well, but the only thing I'd really seen photos of was blankets, but they have confirmed that they do also take like any crochet items that fall within the same categories as the knit items they take. So I know that it's summer here, but I figure I can help them get prepped for the colder months. So what I might do in between things today is just start a beanie. Might try and get rid of this to start with, or like use some more of it to start with. Yeah, I think that's a nice thing to do, and I would like to kind of, I don't know, do something to give away some of these things that I'm making, because as I've said, like in Australia, I find it a little bit harder to sell accessories and things like that. My plushies and things always go well at markets and whatnot, but I don't know, for some reason making kind of scrunchies or bandanas or market bags or beanies, they don't sell as well. So I'm gonna make some, I'm gonna give them away. Let's see how many I get done over the course of this kind of stash buzz video. Well, not video, series. I have also decided that I am going to try and weigh all of my yarn. I think that is going to be a pretty big task, and I think the way that I am going to do it is by kind of cutting it into categories. So I will weigh all of the stash I have of this type of yarn. I will weigh the blanket yarn separate. I will weigh my chenille yarn separate, and then I guess cotton yarn can be on its own as well. I feel like that's going to be more satisfying to know how much I have. I think it's also going to be very confronting to know how much yarn I have in weight. I'm not sure if I'll get that done this video. It just really depends on how my week goes. I'm hoping that I can though. Maybe on the weekend or something I can spend a morning doing it, and we'll just, I guess whatever I make before then won't count. But that is the plan. And I know I've said I think a lot in this clip, because as you can tell, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here, but the core of what I want to do remains the same, which is to start stashing down some of my yarn. I will, I think, try and make some things from cotton soon. I do have quite a big stash of cotton, and a lot of the suggestions that I got on my last video were things like pot holders and like bowl holders and stuff like that. I think those are a good idea, and I can probably make some to kind of just give away to friends or family because they'll be useful. I would also like to make placemats maybe. I think that could be a fun idea and something like a little bit different. I just don't want to make things that are just, you know, here is a square, whether that's a washcloth, a dishcloth, whatever. And coasters I feel like are very also hit and miss. I still have so many cat coasters left from that cat market that I did. So coasters are out. I think coasters are out for a while. Anyway, that is the update for now. I need to get changed. These are my this is my pajama shirt. This is what I sleep in. So I need to go and like have a shower and get dressed and get ready for like the actual work day. No one has to see me when I start at 6 a.m, but I'm gonna have some meetings and calls today. So I need to look presentable. Not for you though. You just get just woke up vibe me. Sorry. Okay. I will see you later, but I'm really, really happy that I got this done. I'm glad that I stayed up and actually finished something, because this is satisfying. I hope this is also satisfying for you. All right. I shall see you soon. It is lunchtime and I am walking to have lunch with my bestie, who now lives around the corner from me, which is so exciting. So I am off to have lunch with her. We haven't seen each other in a while. It is so humid today, so the hair be frizzing, but whatever. Best friends, doesn't matter. I have brought some crochet with me, but really we're probably just gonna yap a whole lot because we have like a whole week to catch up on, you know? So anyway, I'll see you there. I might show you their very cute dog if I can. Okay, bye. You're so small.
Oh, it's been so all over myself.
Good news. I have actually done some stash busting. I finished a beanie today. It is not the season for this at all in Australia, but as I said, this one is going to get sent to Knit One Give One. So I'm happy with having done that, and this is all that is left of that Moomoo's milk cotton ball that I had. So let me weigh it and then I'll let you know how much we've used. There is 26 grams left. Oh, I'm so happy. That totally counts. That totally counts as stash busting. Thank goodness. Tonight I am planning to edit the video that will come out tomorrow, so it will already be out now. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here with these editing and getting stuff released, but I'm planning to do that, and then hopefully I'll still have time to do a little bit more crochet. I have a gift to make, so I'm going to do that, and I probably won't show you because it might get seen by the recipient, but I will. It's small, so I'll probably have time to do like a little bit more stash busting. Over time, I'm going to just keep these little bits of Moo Moo's milk cotton that I use, and eventually I'm thinking I might make like a scrappy version of this beanie. I think that would be cute, just like a few rows of each color. I think that could be cute. So I'm gonna not do anything with this, but very happy to have got some off the plate, out of the shelves. And potentially, if I don't feel like crocheting tonight, I could also just do like a session of like weighing some of the yarn I have. I know that all of my milk cotton is like sitting together in a bag currently, so I could do all of that and just kind of get started on figuring out how much I have. Same with the cotton. So I don't know, we'll see what I feel like. We'll see what my energy levels are like. I did finally post on Instagram today about something that I have not been revealing on here, but we are expecting a little baby in our family next year in April. So there have been some things that I have been making and not showing you guys because they are for that future baby that we are going to be having. So yeah, it's been nice like finally having the word out there. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have already known this, but if you don't follow me on Instagram, that is my news for this video, I guess, and we will keep doing stash busting otherwise. What an anticlimax. Anyway, maybe if you're interested, I can show you at some point in the future some of the stuff that I have been making in preparation for welcoming a new family member. So if you're interested in that, let me know. There's not much so far, to be honest. It wouldn't be like a whole video, but I could make it part of a different video, you know? Anyway, that's that. That's what's happened today. I made a beanie, I finished my stocking, and I made an announcement on Instagram. All right, I will see you a little bit later with whatever I end up doing this afternoon. It is 8:15 on Wednesday and I am so tired. I just finished editing a vlog that I have been editing since I signed off work basically at like 5 o'clock. So it's been like 3 hours of editing and it's not even a very long video. I don't know what's going on. I'm running slow today. I did just remember as I was thinking like, why am I so tired and why do my eyes feel so sore? I started work at 6 a.m. this morning and like granted I had a break and you know did some crochet, but I think it's fair that I'm tired. So I've just put the kettle on. I'm gonna have a cup of tea and just veg out maybe in front of the TV. Not 100% sure. I don't think I'm going to be doing any more filming tonight. If I get some more crochet done, I will let you know tomorrow when I check in with you. But we're halfway through the week. We've still got time. We've still got time to get our stash bust on. I am thinking potentially I will start a new drift in the rainbow Aldi yarn because I do still have a few of them to make for Christmas presents and it will get rid of some yarn as well. So that is going to be my plan for the afternoon, for the evening. It's definitely not afternoon anymore, unfortunately. Cup of tea, TV, making a drift. I will let you know how I go when I check in with you tomorrow. I have an update. I have a finished object and I also have a little bit of a stash bust. I finished my froggy tapestry. I love it so much. I think it's so cute. Look at this grumpy little guy. I'm obsessed with him. I need to get some hooks so that I can like put him up on this wall over here along with my cat tapestry, which since like, I don't know, February, March maybe has just been sitting on my door handle. And I really need to actually like put it up on my wall so that I can admire them. I haven't put anything on the back. This is what my back looks like. And you know what? That's fine. No one's going to be looking at it. It's going to be on the wall. No one's ever going to check the back of this tapestry. So I'm outing myself to you just in case you need a little bit of encouragement to try tapestry. It doesn't need to look perfect on the back. Doesn't matter. Look at the front. You would never know. You would never ever know. So it is Thursday lunchtime and that is where I'm at. The reason I said I had done some stash busting with it is I had to continue using this green ball of yarn and at the start of this video we had 167 grams of it, so let's do a little test and see how far we've come. I don't think it's going to be much. I only really needed to use it at the very end of that tapestry, but some of it got used, so let's see how much. All right, there's 162 grams, so we used 5 grams of it. Not heaps, but still some. All right, that's a little bit more disappointing than I thought it would be. The other thing that I use, and I didn't weigh this at the start because it was prior to this video, but I've used a lot of this yarn and I think a lot of this was on this guy. So I'm gonna just weigh how much I have left of this and then we can kind of make a guess, I suppose. Fango's here to say hello. All right, you can look at his butt, I guess. And my very messy desk and background, I really need to sort out what's going on back here, but not right now. Anyway, we have 38 grams left of this, I think. Bango's tail, nope, 30 grams left of it. Bango's tail was just pushing it down a little bit. 30 grams left of it, and this was a 200 gram ball. I don't know if like 100% of it was on this, but quite a lot of it, I would say. I don't know. Can I measure this? Can I weigh this? I won't. So I think I'm going to wind this up. It can go along with this red kind of scrappy bit of Moo, and maybe we'll make some scrappy beanies at some point. But right now I'm going to actually eat some lunch because it is the middle of my work day and I will need to go back to work after I have a lunch break. That is my update for Thursday lunchtime. Not sure what I'm going to do this evening. I think I need to go and do a little bit of shopping, so not sure how much. Also, like, for some reason in this video, every time I've gone to say crochet, I've been wanting to say frisbee for some reason. So I think I'm missing frisbee a little bit because I can't be playing at the moment. Do you think? He doesn't think. There's no thoughts in this little brain of his, but he's cute. All right, I am signing off until the next update. Hello, I did a live tonight in the end, and I did end up actually making something. So let me show you what I finished on the live. It was this drift, the octopus. I made it in the rainbow color. It's not really coming out on this video very well, I don't think, but I'm happy. I got another thing finished, and I did actually weigh how much yarn I started with. So it was 129 grams when I started. Let's see how much we ended up with, and we'll see how much yarn I just unstashed. I still have quite a lot. I think I'll make another drift out of it at some point. I had this tiny little bit left, but I didn't want to use it on the tentacles because it was going to be annoying. We have 79 grams left. So that's pretty good. I should know 129 minus 79 is 50 grams. That's good. It means we'll get at least one more drift out of this. Who knows what else will happen with the rest of it. I won't have much left after that, but I am happy. Stash busting is actually happening in this stash bust vlog. Thank goodness. Okay. That is me. I am signing off for the night. So it's a wrap on Thursday, and I will see you tomorrow. Happy Friday vlog. It is kind of the end of the day, and I've decided that I haven't done any crochet today, but I was like starting to set up Christmas a little bit outside, and this tissue box sits on our like TV cabinet under the TV, and it's just like ruining the vibe. So I've decided I'm going to attempt to use this scrap yarn that I have, and maybe also this green, to make a granny square like tissue box cover. I have never done this before. Never ever have I made one of these before. I don't know how it's going to go, and I might give up, but I'm going to attempt to use some of this scrappy kind of yarn and see if I can get rid of some of it. So I'm going to measure, or like weigh how much we've got left between the three balls. I have the smallest like weighing scale in here, so it can kind of be hard. Sit it all on top of each other to middling success. I think that's worked. So we have 219 grams in total at the moment. Obviously a lot more green than either of the other colors. I think this is going to be like truly pretty scrappy because I don't know how much yarn this is going to use, and I refuse to open more of that red or of that white or like, you know, cream color that I've got. I'm not doing it. I'm not adding to the stash for this project. If it is not enough, I will just rewind it and we'll lose time, and that's it. That is going to be my afternoon kind of project attempt. I'm not sure how far I'll get through it, and never used this pattern before. Just found a free one online, so let's see how we go. Good morning. I am making a cup of tea. It is relatively early. Karen's still in bed. We've had a pretty big week, so it's very slow in our household this morning. I finished my tissue box holder last night, and I think it looks really cute. I think it's like the perfect kind of Christmassy vibe to add to under our TV, where a couple of other little Christmas things are. I also did finally put up some of our Christmas stuff yesterday, and I'm hoping today we can go and get a Christmas tree and actually set that up, because as much as I have Christmas things out around the house now, it still doesn't feel like Christmas until there's a tree up, and then I can also start wrapping and putting presents underneath it. I'm hoping that is on the agenda today. But the other thing that I want to start this morning is, well, not really start, I want to keep working on my Santa, because now that I have Christmas stuff out, I like want my little Santa to be able to put him out as well with all of our decorations. So that is the plan. I'm going to make this cup of tea and then go and sit in the craft room and keep working on my Santa. So hopefully by the end of this week, we have made some progress on him. I wasn't very good at like weighing how much yarn I had to start with when I started his arm, but I might do that now because then we can kind of backtrack and the arms are going to have the same weight to them, right? And I weighed the head and the hat. So that's the hardest thing about this stash bust, is remembering to weigh things before I start actually working on them, because otherwise I have no idea how much yarn I've used. So maybe sometime this weekend I should actually make time to weigh my stash, maybe. Potentially that's the way to go. Yeah, I just don't like, if I weigh the whole stash, it's not like I'm going to know if I accidentally forget to weigh something. I'm not going to reweigh my entire stash to know, but I suppose at the end I'll still have an idea of how much I've used once I get rid of more of it. I don't know. How would you do this? I put it to you. How would you keep track of how much yarn you're using from your stash? It's been harder than I thought. Anyway, first cup of tea.
Strategic, I think.
Hello, we have had a pretty productive morning. It is still Saturday. So crochet wise, I did finish my other arm of my Santa, and I also have made one of his legs and his other boot. I'm not sure where that is, but this boot is like made separately originally, and then this bit is crocheted on top of it. Pretty productive, pretty productive. The other thing we did is finally we went and bought our Christmas tree, and we have just finished setting it up. Every year we go to the same place to buy our Christmas tree, and this year I was toying with getting like a fake one. I don't know, I just feel like it's maybe we're getting close to the time where we want a pre-lit fake Christmas tree that we can just set up each year. But I just left it way too late this year, to be honest, and there was none left that I liked that were in the size we needed or the size we wanted. So we did end up going and buying a real tree, and we've just finished decorating it and I love it. We also, after last year's Christmas, we bought like lights on special and didn't realize how long they were. So we ended up being able to, after we wrapped them all around the tree, we still had enough left to kind of string them up around our living room. So I'm really happy with that as well. It's very festive looking now, finally, in our house, which normally I would do at the start of December, and we're already like halfway through, 2 weeks till Christmas or something. But I'm glad we've got there now. The next thing I want to do is make a Christmas tree skirt, because the cats always get to the water when we're using a real Christmas tree, and Kieran has put in a little like baking paper barrier as like an interim solution. But I do want to try and maybe use up some more of my milk cotton yarn to create a Christmas tree skirt. So I have 190 grams in this one and 122 grams, I think, in this one left. I do also have a white, which maybe I'll add into the mix. Let me grab it and then we'll see if that will work. I'm just not sure if those two alone are going to be enough. So I've just grabbed the white as well, which let me see how much I've got of this one. Okay, so I have 129 grams of this. I was wrong. It's 114 grams of this one and then 190 of this. I think that'll look nice together. Like, I don't know. We'll see how we go. I'm going to give it a shot, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It doesn't need to be a super big tree skirt because it's like in a bit of a weird corner spot. So it doesn't need to like go out super far from the tree. It just needs to be enough really to cover the water and then like the thing that holds the tree. And then that's enough for me. So I'm going to look for a pattern and get started on that. That is going to be my plan. I'm going to try and stash bust more of this. I really feel like I'm getting through this type of yarn in this video. So I'm happy with that. And my Santa is coming along. He's getting there. I just need to finish the other leg and then I have his body to do. And I know it will take a while, but I'm happy kind of plodding along at it because it is, like I said and have mentioned in the past, it is a like crochet along, which is running until Christmas. So I'm not really in a rush to get him done, but I would like to be able to display him for a while. So I'm hoping I can get him done relatively soon, maybe over the next week. I don't know. Yeah, I'll come back and let you know how I'm going with this and how the colors are looking. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I don't have a red. I want to use scrap yarn, and I was like contemplating putting a yellow in here, but then it looked really Australian colors because like green and yellow or green and gold or whatever is very Australian vibe, and I didn't want to look like super patriotic at Christmas time. That feels weird, but I think maybe the addition of white might be nice. I'll see. I might do like more green than white in it, but we'll find out together what I end up doing with it. Anyway, that is the Saturday update. It's like 2:30 maybe, so still have some time today to do some crochet. Happy Sunday vlog. I am off to get a coffee because we have nothing to make coffee in the house. So I just gone for a walk through the park. It's a nice morning. It's meant to be really, really hot today. So getting out while I still can for the day. Kieran has gone for a run. So yeah, gonna go to the cafe, keep working on my Christmas tree skirt, and we'll see how we go. I'll see you there, I guess, if I don't feel too embarrassed to video something there. Hello, it is like middle of the day on Sunday now, and my parents are coming over for a late lunch, but I do have a little bit more time to do some crochet and things like that. I will show you where the tree skirt is up to so far. We're up to here. I think it's, oh, I just knocked a bauble off the tree. I think it's like looking pretty good. I don't know that I'm gonna have enough of this like eucalyptus color here to do that many more like rows. I might, if I'm lucky, I might get one more lot of that out of this. But at the end of the day, if it's like enough to cover just the thing that our tree is being held by, I'll be happy with that. I really don't want to open another ball of it. It's possible I could finish off with like just the other two colors, but I feel like that would look weird as well. So I'm not 100% sure. The other thing I might do is when I do run out, I'm going to do a few rounds in like maybe a silvery color and then do the border and ties in that same color so that, I don't know, I can get a little bit more length out of that color at least, and then it ties into the border so it won't look weird just having it at the very end, I'm hoping. But yeah, happy with it so far. I think it's looking good. I wasn't 100% sure on the colors, but I think I'm happy with them. I think they look fine enough, you know what I mean? And very good stash busting. I have barely any left. This is all I have left of the green, so I really don't think I'm gonna get another 2 rounds out of this. And then this is the white that I'm working on. Pretty empty, and the green as well is looking a lot more used, both of them, than when we started, obviously. So I'm happy with progress on this. I think I'm just gonna keep working on this for the weekend. Like, I wanna get it finished. Bango is sniffing around the base of the tree. I know he wants to have a drink out of that water. Currently it's covered in baking paper, so he can't, but it's only a matter of time until he figures that out, I think. So if I can get this tied around the tree, and like, that's the main thing it's for, to be honest. It's like less decoration and more cat protection, but that is that. Also, I realized that I kind of just like glazed over the whole like being pregnant thing earlier in this video. So I just thought I would like maybe give an update on that, because it is the reason that I was just completely AWOL for a few months, because I had absolutely zero energy, which I should have expected, I guess, but didn't, obviously. Otherwise I would have, you know, maybe eased into that a little bit better than just completely going silent. But anyway, if you watched my goals video from last week, which if you haven't, you can go and catch up here or wherever, I'll put it on the screen. In that video, when I was talking about the clothing items I'd made, I said that I had also made a few little things, and really I have just made one jumper, which I will put a picture on the screen here. And if you saw our like announcement-ish type photo on Instagram, then you will have seen this a little bit, but I did make it out of Kestrel's Kaleidoscope Fruit Tingle color, and it's really cute and it's so small. I'm just so happy with it. And I have also got another whip that I have not been showing you because it is also baby related, but I made the back of a cardigan and it's got these little mushrooms on it. So I need to finish this. I need to do the front panels and the sleeves, and then obviously like the collar and shaping and stuff, but I think it's gonna be so cute. And I really like these colors. It is cotton, so it's like a little stiff, but I'm hoping that if I like wash it a few times, it'll kind of soften up. I have been told that is the case, so I'm hoping that is the case. It's been a wild ride so far. And it has really, in the last few weeks, it's really stopped me being able to like go out and go for walks and stuff because I've just been having like pretty bad hip pain, which has been tough on my mental health because I usually, as you would know, I'm like playing a lot of Frisbee or, you know, staying active in general, and I haven't been able to do as much of that. So I'm glad now that I'm like back in the crochet groove, because for the first few months I just didn't want to even crochet at all. So I'm glad I have this at least, because that is at least something that I can do for my mental health, because yeah, not being able to exercise is a real bummer for me, but we will get through. We're about halfway at the moment. So yes, I'm going to keep making videos and stuff as long as I can. We will see what next year looks like, who knows, but that is a little bit more of an update about that relatively large part of my life that's about to change quite significantly. I have had a couple of people ask me if they can like get anything or whatever, and to be honest, we have no idea what we really need. We're very lucky to be surrounded by like family and friends who have had like kids pretty recently, so we've been given a lot of the stuff we need. And I think, yeah, there's like a few more things that I want to make for baby though, so I'm excited. I really want to make one of those like Junie star suits, which is by Rach Forshaw, I think is the name. Anyway, I really want to make that pattern, so I need to get that. It's been sitting in my like Etsy cart or whatever for ages, and I just haven't got it yet. But yeah, it's been very kind of people to be offering, but there is absolutely no need to send us anything. So if you did want to send anything, there is like I think address on my like link in bio thing for where you can send letters or parcels or whatever, but we're just happy to be here, you know what I mean? I think that's pretty much the update on that front and on my crochet front, and this is going to be a whip that I really want to kind of get done at some point. The cotton does hurt my hands a little more though, because it's just like all single crochet tapestry essentially. So, you know, I put it down for a while and I haven't picked it back up, but I will pick it back up because it's too cute not to finish. That is me for now. I'm going to keep working on this tree skirt and hopefully get it done this weekend. Fingers crossed. We got half a day. Good morning. It is Monday. We are at the end of the week and the end of the vlog. Hello. I am just jumping in because I woke up this morning and saw that I had been nominated for a Yarnie award, which is like wild to me. I've been nominated in the under 10K crochet creator category. So thank you so much if you nominated me. I am a little bit in disbelief about it. I really appreciate anyone who put my name on that form, and I am just excited. The Yarnies are such a cool thing to like celebrate this little crochet community, and a huge thank you to the organizers of the Yarnies this year, which is Zoe, Naomi, and Jenna. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the work that you are doing, and also to Zach, who got the whole ball rolling on the Yarnie Awards. I will drop a link in the description and also maybe in a pinned comment so you can go and vote for, honestly, whoever you like. I am just so happy to be nominated because I feel like for a channel of my size and for like little old me, that is an incredible achievement already. So again, I just wanted to drop in and say thank you so much. I think voting is open for like a week, so I wanted to make sure I like popped it into this video, even though it's like probably a total non sequitur wherever I have dropped this in. But thank you again, and see you out there, I guess. Bye. I did get my tree skirt finished. As you'll see, it is a little short. I think if I wasn't making this from scrap yarn, I would have made it a little bit longer so that it sat a bit more nicely under the tree, but I'm very happy with my efforts on making this out of scrap yarn and also how much scrap yarn we got done. I guess it's more stash yarn than scrap yarn, but now it is definitely scrap yarn. So this is all I have left of the yarn that I was using. There is 3 grams left of this white, 5 grams left of this ball of evergreen, and 22 grams left of the eucalyptus color that I was using. You'll have seen on the clip, I did also use this like kind of silver color for the border and the last 2 rows on the tree skirt. So that one I started with 191 grams and I now have 89 grams. So I used 102 grams of it, which is great. So I used more than half of that, even though I've rewound it. So it looks like I barely touched it, but I did, I promise. Overall, I am really happy with how this week of stash busting went. We finished the frog tapestry, which I am really, really happy with. So that kind of got a whip out of the pile and a fairly long-term whip out of the pile. We also got to use up a whole bunch of yarn making the tissue box cover and also the tree skirt. I think I also made one of these when we were doing a live. So I have used up some of this yarn as well and got a little closer to having all of those gifts ready for family Christmas, which is happening this Saturday. So I think I'll be making a couple more of them before work today if I can. And of course, we also made some progress on our Santa craft along. You know, we're getting somewhere with that. Me again, coming in quickly because I forgot to mention our giant stocking that we made. So that was another thing that we made in this video. Interlude over, back to other me. I think my priority for this week is to finish up some stuff for Christmas. So I do want to get the drifts done, as I just mentioned. I think I've got 2 to go, maybe 3 to go. And then I will also try and do a little bit more of that Santa craft along, I think. Crochet along? I never quite know what CAL stands for. I know KAL is knit along. I'm just gonna call it a craft along. All crafts welcome, you know? Oh, we also made the beanie, which the Knit One Give One group is currently on like break for Christmas and New Year, which is very, very well deserved for them and all of the volunteers that work there. So I am going to just hold on to that hat and I will keep adding to it, I think, as we move through this stash busting series, and I'll send them all off at the same time. Like, I guess maybe in March, we'll see where we're at. I'm hoping that I'll be able to use scraps like this for a kind of scrappy beanie at some point. I'll just have to make sure that the colors like look cute together so that it's not, I don't know, not too weird a looking beanie to send across. If it does turn out a little too scrappy, maybe I'll just keep it. We'll see how we go. So I know I said I was going to weigh all of my milk cotton and I have not done that, but I've at least done some weighing of things as we went. So I haven't calculated it all. Editing me can put a nice big number on the screen here of how much yarn we used in this video on various projects. I know some of them I didn't have weights for example, the yarn I was using on the frog tapestry. I started that before this stash bust thing, so I didn't have a weight of like how much yarn overall I used on it, but I'm happy to have gotten that whip off the pile, so that is still a win for sure. I am still surrounded by a whole lot of yarn, so we are going to do a little bit more stash busting. I'm not sure what I've got on this weekend other than family Christmas on Saturday. If I have nothing on Sunday, perhaps I will do just like a 1 day, how much blanket yarn can I use up in a day? We'll see how we go. Don't hold me to that. Things might change, but I do want to start focusing a little bit on the blanket yarn because I do have so much of it. But before I do that, I really want to get the Christmas stuff kind of off my pile, you know? So that is the plan for this upcoming week. And whenever I am next filming for you guys in the next video, I will give you an update on what I've stash busted in the meantime while I've not been filming. So you'll still get an update because I am committed to this stash bust series. I hope you're enjoying it. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything you'd like to see, if you have any pattern ideas for using up blanket yarn or cotton yarn or really any kind of yarn, just any of your favorite patterns. I would love to hear them. And otherwise, I would also love to know what you were working on while you were watching this, or if you were just chilling out and hanging and enjoying these kind of end of year cruisy days. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button down below. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, please consider doing so because it really helps the channel and it will help me hit my YouTube goals. And next year, when I am off work for a year, I would really like to try and be here in some capacity, and it just helps knowing people are like around. I'll feel like I have a community around me even when I am home alone with a small human for most of the day, every day, you know? Anyway, I will catch you at the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.